everyone, it's Kaylin here at Full Purpose and Heart, and today's video I am going to share with you how I am organizing our kindergarten year for our homeschool curriculum. There are a couple of pieces here that I'm going to show you guys, and it's my philosophy that you kind of have to watch a whole bundle of these types of videos from all different people, whether you're on YouTube or looking at blogs or whatever, and then you kind of compile what works from what one person says and take a little bit from what another person says and kind of mash them all up and make your own organization system. So I created this system for me in that way. It's a little bit of what this person said, a little bit of what that person did, and put it all together to make something that's going to hopefully work for us throughout this school year. So let me go ahead and show you some of those things. This video will actually have a few additional videos which will go into more detail. So if I talk about something that's interesting to you, then just wait and you can look in either if it hasn't been filmed yet, then it will be filmed and I'll show you a little bit more detail about how I created these types of systems for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, everyone. So one of the major topics us homeschoolers like to talk about and hear about and glean information from is how do we organize all of the stuff that we have collected, or how do we put together a functional plan so that we can have smooth homeschool days and weeks, and then of course the full year. Now for me, coming from a public school background, being a public school teacher, planning is really important to me. I find a lot of benefit from it. My personality really thrives in knowing what's going to be coming up. So for me, I like to have many weeks planned out before the school year even begins. I like to have an annual overview. I like to have weekly looks. I like to have daily plans, and I like to just have it all organized and put together. So let me give you a really quick overview of some of the things that I've done. And as I mentioned in my introduction, I'm going to also have some additional videos that you can look up if you're interested in knowing how I put that together. Okay? So my first system is our annual system, and it's kind of like the year at a glance kind of a thing that I like to do. And what I've done here, I'll just kind of show you this page. This is just an Excel sheet that I have. It was actually created by another YouTube mom whose name I don't know, but I'll put it on the bottom here. And then I'll put her link down below in the description box so that you can watch her video. And she also has a printable that you can go to her website and get a free kind of printable. Mine's modified slightly because that's how I am. I can't ever just leave anything as it is, but you get the general idea. So what I have done here is I've gone through and numbered each of our school weeks, and I have filled out all of the assignments and the activities and the lessons and everything that we need to do during each given week. Now the way that I did it, most of my weeks will be 4-day school weeks, and to kind of even it all out to make sure we ended about when I wanted to end, I have a few 5-day school weeks where we have 5 lessons we need to complete. So if it's a 5-day school week, I've put a little highlighted star on those few school weeks. And there's more 5-day school weeks at the beginning of the year than there is at the end of the year, mostly because by the time the end of the year happens, we're all hanging on for dear life anyway. So I kind of planned it that way so we only had to do 4 days a week, kind of towards the end of the school year. Okay? So you can kind of see, I'll just give you really briefly, I have the date, which is the Monday of that school week. We started really early in July because we're having a baby in the fall, and so we're going to be taking a couple of weeks off in September, so I wanted to get a jump start on it. So July is usually more early than I like to start school, but it worked out for us this year just with the baby coming. So anyway, I have the date here, our scripture that we're going to be studying, what assignments for that. Here's our math lessons that we're doing. You can see these are just really brief, quick things. As I go on, I do every step in a little more detail, okay? Here's my phonics. We're going to do lessons 1 through 5. We're doing an interactive notebook this year, so each week we do whatever letter we've done with our phonics. So here's the letters we're going to do. Our writing assignment. Here's the reading assignments that we have to do. And then a little later on when the year kind of goes on a little bit, then we'll have history, science, and art, which we're not actually going to start until about October, but I have those columns there, okay? So You'll have to watch the other video just to kind of save time. If you're interested to see how I do an annual plan and how I kind of filled in all of these boxes, I'll do an additional video on that here in a couple of days so that you can see how I filled out this chart. But it is helpful for me to be able to quickly look it up at the beginning of each Monday and be able to see, okay, these are the things that we need to get done, okay? From there, I then start, this is annual, so then I go to a weekly plan. And my weekly plans, I put in this kindergarten plan book that I have created. Now, you can use any planner that you want. A lot of people like to use the Erin Condren planners, or you can just go to the store and buy whatever planner you want, or you can even just have a bunch of like computer paper stapled together. Whatever suits your fancy, but for me, I like to look at something pretty and organized. It kind of helps me get excited about the task at hand, so that's kind of what I do. Okay, again, I will make another video that will explain how I do this weekly planner more in depth, but let me just kind of show you some blank pages here. So I have I went through and I titled all of the weeks that correlate with my annual plan here. So I have the weeks here, Monday through Friday, and then each of the subjects, English Language Arts, Math, Science and History. This is our alphabet workbook or our phonics workbook. Anything additional that I want to add, and of course notes on the side, okay? It's kind of a work in progress. I don't know if it's like a perfect layout, but I made it and I like it for now, so I guess it works for what it is, okay? All right, so what I then end up doing, and I'll just kind of show you quickly a random week here, is I will go through and I will match up this annual sheet with this weekly sheet, okay? So I've gone through and I'll look at the teacher's manual and I'll say, okay, we're going to be doing lesson 19, which is S. We're doing lesson 20, which is Q, 21, 22, 23. You can see, oh, we're not having a Friday that week. Okay, I do the same thing for math. And then for the letters, our alphabet notebook, I have what letter we're doing for each of those. And then I just kind of go through and I write down what the lesson will be about. So this particular one, we're going to drill a couple of consonant and vowel sounds. Here I'm going to teach 1 o'clock for math, as well as reveal ordinal numbers. Okay, we're learning about hexagons in lesson 20, and we're going to count to 40. So I just kind of put like some quick little reminders about what those lessons are. And again, I get this from the teacher's guide from the curriculum that we've purchased. If you're curious about my curriculum choices, then you can watch that curriculum video. I'll have it linked up here, I guess is where it goes. And you can see we're using horizons and then a couple of other manipulatives and stuff. But anyway, so that's how I fill this out. This kind of helps me organize all of that. Okay, then the next step, after I have completed this, and I will actually go through, I went from July when we started through December. So I did about 20 weeks worth of planning. Our school year is going to end up to be about 36 weeks, 35 or 36 weeks, kind of depending on how things roll. So I've done almost a little more than half of our planning. I went up through Christmas break. So that's how I did this one. The next thing that I will do is I will get all of our all of the student workbooks, and I'll divide it up into this crate that I have behind me. Now, if you hold on just a second, I'm going to actually take the camera and I'll show you how I have filled in these crates, okay? So let me show you how I've done that. So here you can see we are in week 3 now. This is a crate system that is a lot of different people use. And the first place that I saw it was done, now I'm not sure if she is the originator or if she just adapted it into hers, but it was the clover, Raising Clovers is where I found it. So I'll make sure and put her link on there so she gets credit for the inspiration of this idea. But what you can see is each week is labeled here, and I have through week 19. Once we finish the week, I put it in the back so that the week that we're currently on is always in the front. And then I take the notebook or the student guide, the student workbook, and I will rip out this pages that we will be doing for that week. Okay, so if we're doing week 1, then it'll be lessons 1 through 5. The first folder, you can see I didn't write anything on here because I want to be able to reuse these, but the first folder is always his math. The second folder is his language arts. And I have, these are always a couple of pages, so I staple the pages together that equal one lesson so that we just pull that one lesson out when we're ready to do it, okay? And then in this third folder, this is his interactive language arts notebook. So it'll have those pages in here as well with what we're gonna be doing that week, okay? And this isn't supposed to be there, but it's in there anyway, okay? And then in the very back here, I'll just have some additional games or whatever that I've put together based on what we're learning that week. So this particular week, we're working on tallies. So I have made some additional games. These are just some tally games and stuff to help us kind of practice tallies. And they're more games than just doing the worksheets, okay? So I do that, and I go all the way through to the end of the pile. Now, a lot of people will actually go clear till the end of the whole school year, which is all like 36 weeks or 30 weeks or however many weeks. But I just didn't have that many file folders, and I didn't want to invest in that many of all of the supplies. So I did halfway, and then we'll flip these around and do weeks 20 through 40-ish, okay? In the back here, you can kind of see, I'll just kind of quickly explain. These are additional vowel games that I'll pull out in my planner, kind of depending on what we're learning that week. And it'll kind of be supplemental games and stuff like that that we can play in addition to whatever the lesson is for that day. All right? So that's that one. And then the last step that I will do is I will take my daily or my weekly lesson plan, and then I will fill, these are our work boxes. So we've done the workbox system before, and I tried to kind of forego it this year, but I feel like it really worked out better for my kindergartner and better for me to be able to just say, okay, you need to work on boxes 1, 2, and 3 while I take care of the babies or whatever, and then I'll come back and check your work, and then we'll do box 4 together, or that kind of thing. It was just easier for me to explain it to him. So every night or after school or whatever, I'll organize it, and I'll pull out the particular worksheet that we're doing that day, and I'll put it in the box that he needs to complete it in. So usually, like, the top box is always our scriptures, so that's what you'll kind of see in there is our daily devotion. And then box 2 will be usually some kind of math game or a math review game, or an introduction to a new concept game kind of thing I put in 2. 3 will be his lesson from the Horizons curriculum. 4 is typically his lesson for our English language arts curriculum. 5 is his notebook, and then 6 he does his reading from the Horizons curriculum. Okay, so I will fill the boxes, and then we'll kind of go throughout our day from there. So there you go, my friends. That is kind of how I organize our school year. And again, it might be more steps than what you like to do or that you want to do, but kind of like I said before, I feel like everybody's system is a compilation of what they have seen others do. So you have to kind of watch a whole stack of these YouTube videos of what other people are doing in their homeschool classrooms, and then take pieces from here and pieces from there, and you'll be able to create a system that works for you. Again, I'm going to do additional videos that will go more into depth of how I make my annual as well as my weekly lesson planner. So I'm going to talk about how I made this one, and then I'll go more into depth about how I made this one and how I go about planning 1 week's worth of class material or school material. Just if you're interested in that, so that you can kind of hop over and see those videos as well. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful to you, or you found something that kind of helped you want to organize your classroom a little bit better. If you have questions or comments, feel free to leave those in the description or the comments section below. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. We are in week 3 of our homeschool, so I like to do like a little weekly vlog update kind of to track our progress as we go through our school year, as well as these types of videos to add to the plethora of information that is out there, because the more that we share with each other, the more we can learn and better ourselves. So have a great one, guys, and we'll talk to you in another video.